What's going on, guys? My name is Chris. You're watching APK Collectibles. We are a seller, collector, investor. The information you obtain on this channel is not financial advice. Be accountable, educate yourself, know what's going on the marketplace. Before we get started, yesterday was a terrible day. Not going to harp on it. Somebody lost their life, and we'll end it there. No matter how you feel, the internet is a terrible place. Stay off the internet. You can watch my videos, but stay off the internet because what I saw just in the first 5 minutes just terrible. Very sad, very, very sad, and we'll just end that there. Secondly, this video is going to be about irrational markets, which I had planned, and then this morning we had an article come out in the Wall Street Journal, which I cannot read because I don't pay for it, but we'll harp on that a little bit at the end. We had Kevin O'Leary last week come in and say his piece, which I'll say something about that too. And then we have the Wall Street Journal coming in telling everybody that TCG cards and Pokemon cards have outpaced the S&P 500 by 500 to 600% over X amount of years and have doubled the Facebook since the IPO market price. I think it's 35 or 3,600, and Meta is up like 1,600. It IPO'd at like 40, so whatever that is, right? 20 times. So irrational markets, Pokemon, TCG cards are irrational markets. The housing market is an irrational market. Anything that works off comps that is unregulated, where people make commission, where people make sales, that's unregulated and is irrational. The stock market can be irrational to a point of bubble where people are buying things on the fear of missing out and greed, which is a part of an irrational market. It's driven by fear and greed and the emotional decisions that people make and the psychological decisions and emotions that people deal with. How I combat that is just being consistent. Every 15th of the month, I put $100 in the S&P 500 and I don't look at it. Every 15th of the month, I put $100 into Bitcoin. I don't look at it. Every 31st of the month, I buy $200 worth of Pokemon cards, which is like less than 1% of my investment. I consider it a risky investment. I've been doing it for 9 years, 10 years. This is why I'm selling it off now, because I don't know what everybody's end game is here, but we'll go into that too. But I consider it a risky asset, which if I would have went all in on it, would have went up, 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 up. But I haven't. I don't go all in on things. I diversify. The first thing I buy is the S&P 500. I do that all the time. That is the safest thing that I can say people should do. It's just buying the market over time. That's what I think is the best thing to do. So irrational market, specifically Pokemon. The first thing is it's driven by the fear of missing out. So right now you see the market legging up. There's no product to be found. More people are finding out about it. More people are coming in who could be or couldn't be uneducated. I don't know who's buying the stuff. But you're buying it hoping to sell it at a later price that somebody's willing to pay more. It's almost like a Ponzi scheme, to be honest, because at the end, somebody's going to get hit and they're going to lose their money. So you have vendors buying stuff on the way up. They need product. There's no product. It's climbing. You have investors who are selling off stuff at higher prices, buying lower prices. Then you have new people coming in as investors trying to buy stuff. You have collectors who want packs. So the fear of missing out is, to a point where the market seems to be legging up every week. I'm selling slowly. I've been selling since March. And if I would have sold it all at once, it would have cost myself a lot of money. At this point, just slowly legging out. I don't know when it's going to stop because I'm not smart enough to know when it's going to stop. But selling off slowly is my plan, and that's my decision. And I had somebody email me on my first video and say, "Hey, bro, you sold too soon." I just want to address that quickly. Nobody knows anything about me except 2 videos that I made. How you can reach out to somebody and say you sold too quickly and you don't know anything about my situation is just strange to me. I feel like your time could be spent better doing other things. The second thing with irrational markets is confirmation, confirmation theory or confirmation bias, meaning that when you watch people on the internet, Pokemon tubers, Magic collectors, whether it be Bitcoin, they are going down with the ship no matter what. They are so into what they're doing and they're all in on it that even if it goes down, they will go down with the ship to zero. And that does one of two things. It takes product off the market because people are hoarding it because they believe in it so much. And, it allows them to go on YouTube and say, oh, I'm still buying it. I'm still buying it. I'm still buying it. I'm still buying it. Oh, look, it came back. You see, I was right. I was right. And good for you if you were right. Like, you shouldn't be telling people that or acting that way. You should be educating them on how it worked. And the truth is that if you are managing your money correctly and you were buying like I was every month, not looking at the market, just buying every month and just waiting for it to come back because you believe in it, then that's where the money is made. The money is being accumulated now and wealth is being grown, but the money wasn't made here. The money was made on the downturn when people weren't buying it, and people kept buying it, and the same people kept buying it. It's hard to press the button at that time. For me, I actually had to look at myself in the mirror when Paradox Rift came out because I went to the store, I bought 3 cases, and that was a lot for me. I was like, what am I doing? I was so off guard. I skipped the next set. I think I paid $80 a box for them. It's like 1,400 for 3 cases, and that was the first time I'd ever bought more than 1 case or even had cases in my house. I always bought like 1 to 3 boxes a month, and it's hard to press the button, but if you believe in it, now it's paying off for me and has paid off for me, right? So fear, when people are greedy, be fearful. When people are fearful, be greedy. That's Warren Buffett of science of investing. It's just that's the way it can be done and should be done. Um, and the herd mentality, inflates the prices of these things. You have people coming on YouTube now saying it's never going to go down. I told you I was right. Make your own decisions. Hold yourselves accountable. I sold my tag team box for $4,000. I made what 25 times my money. Should I be mad about that? Should I go back and say, oh, well, it's 10,000 now? No, if you make a decision, you make a decision. I feel like I still won. I still feel like it was a good decision. And I didn't know it was going to go to 10. If I did, I would have held it. And that's part of being accountable. I sold an Evolving Skies box to buy a case of Destined Rivals. I wanted to diversify out of one thing and get the Team Rocket set. So, you make your own decisions in the marketplace and you hold yourselves accountable. Um, Confirmation bias is probably the craziest thing for me because no matter what you say to people, they won't change how they act. They won't change their mind on anything, even if they're wrong. Like people admitting they're wrong is strange to me. Like people will not do it. I have a very easy time doing it, so it's right or wrong. The goal is to be right 75 to 80% of the time. And if you can do that on a consistent basis, you don't have to be right every time. Uh, but it's just crazy to me how people can act this way. And you know, if you have all these boxes, like I had all these boxes, you start to look at them like I would rather have the money right now. And that's why we're doing this. Like it has to be done. I said it a few times. Like for me, this is a point of life changing money where I can have the freedom to maybe do something on the house or just go on an extra vacation. It's not going to be life changing when I'm quitting my job because I'm not an all in type of person. I diversify everything out. That's my risk tolerance. That's how I act, and that's what I do. So just commenting on Kevin O'Leary now. Kevin O'Leary came online, and when my opinion is like when rich people come in, like Kevin O'Leary's worth like $500 million. So don't you have enough? Like just go do something else because he's going to buy that card for 12 million. He's going to sell it for 20 million in 2 years. That's not how most people act or what most people can do. And then it just throws fuel on the fire. And now you have this Wall Street article coming out. The Pokemon cards have dominated the S&P 500, which every young kid is going to read. And to those young kids, I would say you should buy the S&P 500 first. Could be wrong. Doesn't matter. That's my opinion. You do what you want with it. Because if you're listening to them now, you're coming in at the top of the market. It could go another year. I don't know. The thing about irrational markets is they can be irrational much longer than you think they can go on for. This could go on for 5 years. This could crash next week. You don't know. That's why I sell some, I hold some, I buy some, and I manage my risk accordingly to my situation. If I didn't have kids, I'd have much more money to spend and invest in the market. I personally think that's why a lot of people are not having kids these days. I think they're more educated and they wait. Um, it's just, it's just, it's hard to get around what's going on. Um, I don't know what everybody's plan is. Like, what is your plan? Because to the people who have all this money stacked behind them, what are you gonna do? Like, what if it crashes? Like, to me, that's my response. For people to say it's never gonna crash, it's never gonna change, nothing's gonna happen, it's just weird to me. Um, and that's it. We'll leave it at that. We're gonna do a giveaway. I'm gonna do a company update every month. I'm gonna try to do that. It'll be small, it'll be quick, but we're gonna do a giveaway. I have these at Costco. We need to get to 1,000 subscribers so we can monetize. And here you go. So we're gonna give away 2 of these at 1,000 subscribers. I also have a Destined Rivals booster box to give away. I'm gonna give away all 3 of those things at 1,000 subscribers. So if you're watching this video, like, comment, subscribe. Once we reach 1,000, I'm never gonna say that again. I want you to come here. I want you to watch the videos and learn a little something. You don't have to subscribe at that point. You can just watch them. I really don't care. Spend the time the way you want to spend it. This is my hobby. This is something I love to do, and I'm going to do it no matter how you feel about that. And I'm not going to quit my job, and I'll probably never be full time doing this. But I have been successful. And again, nobody knows who I am. So I really don't know what else to say. So, like, again, we're going to do those giveaways. Irrational marketplaces are unregulated. Be careful in them. Understand that the price of comps doesn't really mean anything, guys. Like, if something is selling for 200 on eBay, it doesn't mean you have to sell it for 200. You can use that as a tool, as a guideline, but you can go lower, you can go higher. I just sold off all my packs, and I'll get into that in the company update, for 75 to 80% of market, because you know that's a big spread for someone who's going to make money on it. Right? It's not regulated, but that's the choice we made together. So just be careful out there. Every week seems to be another leg up in this market. So I would suggest selling a little slowly if you're selling. If you're buying, be careful. Be careful buying. Be careful who you're buying from. Be careful what you're buying, how you're buying it. Don't overspend. Don't max out your credit cards. Don't try to flip on credit cards when credit cards are due, because you will lose money. It will be bad. And that's it for this video, guys. Irrational markets. Uh, I don't know. And every time I try to say something, I think of all the people out there buying the product. It just blows my mind. Never seen anything like this, and it's just weird. All right, man. That's the next video. See you in the next one. Company update. Have a good day.